What's up, everyone? Drew, aka Catching Rockets here. I hope y'all are having a good day. Hope you had a good weekend. Let's see. I did find some option setups. We'll go over those really quick, and then we'll start charting up SPY. Actually, let's get rid of this stuff first. Alright, let's start with... Excuse me. I guess we'll start with Visa, since we're already there. Looking for puts below 332.50. First target, 330.72 cents. Second trim, 329.23. And then close at 326.20. This will be a day trade. Next one, JP Morgan. So, was I tripping when I did this? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what my thought process is here. So actually, I think I know. I'm wanting price to come up, tap this, and then go down. I don't... Excuse me. I don't normally share trades with you guys like this, but we did run something like this on... I want to say it was Netflix. Where, no, it wasn't Netflix. I don't remember. We ran it on something not too long ago. Maybe it was Amazon. Nah, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But most of the time when I'm looking for a trade, you know, like we're above the level and then playing it down. And the last time I shared a trade where we were below my price for entry on puts, it seems like people understood the assignment and made money and did well. And so we're really just looking for them to come up and tap this and then sell off. If they happen to open above, that's fine. Not a big deal. We're looking for them to break through, and then we'll get into puts. Okay? So, entry, 241 and 10 cents. First trim, 240 and 2 cents. Second trim, 238.87. And then close at 237.78 cents. All right. So those are the two setups I have for tomorrow. Hopefully we open in a good range on them. Let's start charting up SPY here. We're going to start with session volume profile. Bring forward our daily levels. then 65 minutes, and turn on PVP, input 1 week. This gives us our previous week levels. So we have a poor low and previous week value low literally at the same level. I'm going to move my poor low down a little bit. If this was a chart I was trading off of, I would combine these two levels. I just do it this way so you guys can see them individually, so they kind of stand out a little bit better. All right, let's go back to 30 minutes. Let's look at TPO. Also, I think it's about time to wipe this chart and start fresh. It's getting pretty crowded. And I need to make sure I just have, important levels on my chart. All right, let's zoom out, look at the big picture on SPY. Right away, I'm pretty bearish. News-wise, I'm not bearish, but chart-wise, I'm bearish. So, on our larger picture chart, we've drawn some pretty key levels. So, like 479, 518, 539, 568. 576.98, 585, and if you guys have read Anna Cooling's volume price analysis, then you should immediately recognize that we have decreasing volume day over day as we are approaching one of our key resistance levels, right? So I wouldn't be surprised to see a tap of that and then reject from there, or we could just be selling off from where we are. There was news over the weekend. I don't remember what day. I think it was like Friday evening or something like that, where Trump said that tariffs were not going to be, or there wouldn't be tariffs on chips and phones, and I forget some other things. I don't follow the news too terribly close, but I remember something to that effect, which gave me the feeling that they were going to try to push this, pretty high over the weekend. And like I said, I try not to look at futures until I do these videos, but I think I accidentally caught a glimpse that we had gapped up. But we'll have to see. Let's see. On like more of a shorter term, this would be like our resistance, SR flip on the upside, and below our SR flip is right around there, 526.32. So this is a pretty good range here. And so basically, it looks like we basically identified the previous day value area low and our single prints at the top. I think that's the range that we found. Yeah, it is. It's insane to see value areas on SPY that are this wide. $10. Let's take a look at news really quick. Okay. After the open, Waller speaking. Looks like that's the only really major news event until after the close. Let's take a peek at futures, see what we're doing. So we have the same thing. You know, like this was our reversal point. Bearish, where we're making lower lows, and now we've made like a new lower high. And since then, again, we just have decreasing volume day over day as we push up. Right now, we are slightly bearish from the open. I was showing this. Let me delete this. If you grab fibs, basically like on this initial run up here, right? This fib level, the 0.618 and 0.682, is considered the golden pocket. And if you look from that run up, you know, so basically, well, stocks, you know, move like this. A lot of times they like to bounce right inside of this golden pocket right here. And generally, if we stay above the 50% fib, it's going to be, like we're still bullish, basically. This one here initially bounced right in the golden pocket and then sliced down lower. Let's see. Yeah. This broke the same thing though here. Bounced from the golden pocket and then ended up going lower. They actually barely broke the 50% fib there. But I was saying in one of the discords, draw these and see how often they're bouncing in the golden pocket. No, that's not going to be it. Ah. This is a short. If my software was loaded up, I would be taking this. I don't, but it's not. This isn't like A++ setup, just a FYI, but this is a short. Peak above and fail. And they've made a poor high here. So basically, like the next time they visit this, they're going to go higher probably. But for now, they should sell off. And I would be targeting right about there as my take profit level. But so yeah, from the open today, let's see. We are down, we'll just say 40 points. So as of right now, we're bearish, but again, it'll be interesting. We're kind of in a funky spot. So we made new lower lows, lower high, lower low, higher high, right? And if they do what I think they're going to do, if they come to here, that would be a new lower high, and then they could go make a new higher high, right? So we're right around $39, $5.39, $5.38. If you listened, you're already up pretty good on this. So basically, SPY's right around here right now. I was hoping, when I said this is a short, that it was going to quickly just do this and prove me completely wrong like it did whatever day it was, Thursday, I think, where I was like, oh, this is a good spot to go long. And it just went bloop, like right in front of all of us. I was like, oh, nice. Thanks. I don't know what I'm doing. Call me ICT. All right. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where I like this. It's always kind of weird with a gap. Oh, and this coffee. Let me tell you. If you're ever out by me, first of all, let me know. If I have time, I will come out and have a coffee or a beer or something with you. But if you're ever in my neighborhood, go check this place out. If you like coffee, at least. Lucky's Coffee. First of all, they have like their own. I don't think they roast it in house, but their coffees are really, really good. Or their beans, I should say. I guess I don't know if it has a menu here, but yeah, I don't see a menu. But they basically have. Excuse me. They make their own syrups in house, and they've got some pretty wild syrups. Like they have one that has rosemary in it. But this coffee that I'm drinking is called April Kisses, and when I say this, I'm not really into like sweet coffees, and it's just basically like a what's it called? It's a strawberry chocolate with like coconut, and it literally tastes like chocolate covered strawberries, like dark chocolate covered strawberries, where like it's not dark chocolate covered strawberries are not super sweet. You get like the tartness from the strawberry, and then like a tiny bit of sweetness from the dark chocolate, and the coffee literally tastes like you're biting into a chocolate covered strawberry, and it's pretty freaking bomb. Alrighty, so where we might open could make things very interesting. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Basically, if we're opening above, I'm going to have to be very specific in my wording, is what it is, for anybody that's just looking at my chart. If you do this, I would be closing here. It's only like 2.5 points, which isn't wild compared to, what we're used to the last week or so. But and then I should add Shorty's going to be live 9:30 Eastern tonight. So definitely tune in to watch him. are we doing right now? Yeah, so this is... Yeah, if you took this when I said it, you're already up 6 points. No. So just to kind of show you guys what I'm looking at, I think I'm noticing this late, but this is resistance, right? Resistance. And then ultimately these two subsequent candles are just resistance as well at this level, but they were able to like break through it a little bit, right? And then we have resistance again here, resistance again here, and then we finally broke through this level with like oomph. And then we finally came back and retested it. This would be your entry for calls or to go long. And I'm feeling like they might bounce here again, but then the more I think about it, I think this was your opportunity for calls or long right here, and that I missed it. But it looks like this would have been a nice key level to get in calls if you're watching it live. With that said, I'm just going to go safe and say watch for calls down here. Just to give you guys kind of my my thought process right now. I think that whatever the market makers, government, whoever is trying to bring us back up here. And I think when we're back up here would be a good time to switch bearish. I think right now they're trying to bait retail back in, whatever it is, DCAing, calls, long, bullish. And I think they're going for one more hoorah before we get the big sell-off. So up here, 2024 value area high, I would be considering short or bearish, flipping to puts. The target would be like our 2024 value area low. And if that's broken, then things get pretty bad. So that's just kind of my overall thought process right now on what I think they're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and post this, and then I'll read through the chat. If anybody has any questions, now would be a good time. And then I guess I didn't tell you guys, but I have work again tonight. All right. What's up, Gigi? What's up, Raven? What's up, Chaz? What's up, Sarah Perry? What's up, Dose of Glory? What's up, Corey? What's up, Taz? What's up, Chef? What's up, Robin Hood? What's up, Shelly? What's up, Tim? What's up, David Ryan? What's up, Sleazy? What's up, Macman? Oh, sorry, Robin Hood. I just saw your question. Are you saying on ES? I think you're talking about ES. Yeah, this was... It's not the current previous week value area low. This is last week's previous week value area low. This is already like a nice trade. We're already up 10 points. Yeah, it was nice if you took it. What's up, Alan? Yeah, so Robin Hood's mentioning that his is at 54.20. Again, this is not current. And it doesn't matter. I wasn't even paying attention to the previous week value area low portion of this. Like, if I just did this, where is it? If I just do this, this is what I was looking at, right? I am looking at, excuse me, whoa. So I was actually expecting this to be closer to the golden pocket, but it is what it is, whatever. We didn't break the 50% retracement. And again, this is selling pressure, more selling pressure, more selling pressure. And if you remember, we called it out basically right about there, or I should move this over, right about here, give or take. I don't remember the exact number, but they just kept selling every single candle, and it was just like a pretty obvious short to me. Regardless of levels or anything like that, I'm more just looking at naked price action, because I know that the levels that I have on here are outdated. I'm looking at really just raw naked price action. Like, basically, if you look here, it's kind of the same thing where they're buying it up, buying it up, buying it up. And, you know, if you took that, you got like 18 points roughly. And I'm saying, I don't think most people would catch an 18-point move here, but I'm saying there was the potential of an 18-point move here, and obviously you would have to close before the top. And if you were trading it, like, this would be kind of a good area to be considering closing on that, which would have given you 15.5 points. Makes sense. So really trading off of, or going off of naked price action here, and they're bouncing here, which could mean this doesn't work out all the way down to 417. I didn't really look left when I called this out. I was just looking at the information since the open. But with that said, I'm not surprised they're bouncing here. And, you know, they might just give us something like this. Right? But you just have to see how it plays out. Okay. What's up, Motivate Me Now? Robert, I don't know what you mean. It's in my tracker? What? What's up, Jack? How you doing? GG, are you 470 or 570 tomorrow, Jerry? That's funny. Um, is that high 544? Are you talking about 559, the 2024 value area high? I think that's what you're talking about. It's at 559.36. Oh, playthrough games. I think I already kind of explained what I was seeing. I know you asked the question probably before I said all of the stuff that I said, but pretty sure I already answered your question. Sarah, I work as a respiratory therapist at one of the USC facilities. Hey, what's up, Stocks for Real? What's up, Danielle? What's up, Marcel? What's up, Kenneth? What's up, Nora? That's funny, Chef. The Dr. Pepper jalapeno glaze. I think I'm gonna be making some like Monday or Tuesday. What's up, Banner? What's up, Nora? What's up, Brandon? What's up, Elite Mark? Crypto Kid. If I have a chance, or I should say, if you have a chance, I do have a question for you. I agree with you completely. I do think they're trying to give us one last push to the upside before the big drop. What do you think the time frame is? The way I kind of look at stuff like this, excuse me, it'll be a little bit harder right now with the gap, but I generally just look like, if we're here, how long did it take them in the past to go from there to here? And it was like 5 days. We got some pretty massive moves in those 5 days. So I don't know that that's realistic. $22 points is realistic in 5 days. So I would say like a week or two. A week or two would be what I'm looking at. Oh yeah, Elite Mark. I'll post those. I normally do. Thank you for mentioning. Let me throw these up really quick. All right, posted. Oh, thank you, Nora. I appreciate that. And it went to Stocks for Real. What's giving me the sentiment they want to go lower than 480? Are you talking about SPY? What's giving me the sentiment is just the overall economy. I mean, just if we just look at ourselves, if we look at the U.S., and the way that I kind of explain this to people whenever I'm talking about it is just look at your own wallet, look at your own bank account. Let's just say, for instance, and for a lot of people this won't be the case, and I hope for most people it's not the case, but if you're making the same amount of money today as you did 5 years ago, do you feel like you have more or less money in your bank account or more or less money in your pocket? And I think anybody that's being honest would say they feel like they have less money. Our dollar is going a lot less farther. Everything's more expensive: gas, grocery shopping, housing, mortgages, rent. Like, just everything's gone up, and the value of our dollar has gone lower. And so, with that said, like, a lot of people had a rough time during COVID, and they started putting things on credit cards. And then as the value of our dollar has decreased over the last 10 years, or I mean the last 5 years or whatever, since COVID, like, people have been supplementing by using their credit cards more to just pay for, like, their general everyday living, whatever it is, groceries, gas, blah, 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 blah. And then eventually their debt on their credit card surpasses a level that's manageable, right? So, like, when you first start racking up credit card debt, like, you can go and pay the whole thing off, right? Like, you use your credit card, and then at the end of the month, you pay the whole thing back off down to zero. And then eventually, like, you can't pay it down to zero, and you have like $1,000 balance that you're taking into the next month. And then the next thing you know, you have like a $2,000 balance you're taking into the next month. And then the next thing you know, like, you can barely afford your monthly payment, and it's not lowering the price, or not lowering the debt on your credit card. You're just paying interest. And then you're in like a really bad spot, because where you would normally just use your credit card, to supplement the change in the amount of money that you feel like you have, now, like, you're not even moving your balance, you're just paying interest. And so now, like, the money you have in your bank account, like, you're minus whatever, just from paying a bill, and the actual debt didn't go down, right? And then the next thing you know, you can't even afford your minimum payment because you wouldn't be able to cover your other bills, right? And so if you look at right now, the national credit card debt is the highest it's ever been. Defaults on credit card payments are the highest they've ever been. There's just a lot of things that are bearish overall. Housing prices are very high. Most people can't afford to buy a house right now, especially with interest rates. I don't know where they are exactly, but I'm going to say between 6 and 7%, which I'm sure is accurate. But I don't know the exact value. And when you combine, when you combine really high housing prices with really high mortgage rates, people just can't really afford to buy houses. And then, like, you have a lot of people renting, and rents are going higher and higher. Like, things are just not, like, super affordable right now. And I think most Americans are really starting to feel it, where we're not spending as much because we can't afford to spend as much. Because right now, a lot of people are just trying to get by with, rent, food, and not doing a lot of extracurricular stuff. Or if they are doing extracurricular stuff, a lot of it's just going onto credit cards, which is not a good idea. So that's what makes me feel like the economy needs a reset, and like we're pretty overdue for a recession. I could be wrong. I've been feeling like we're due for a recession for quite a while, and it's just the normal. It's the normal ebb and flow of the market, right? Or the normal ebb and flow of the economy. We'll have periods where the US dollar is really strong, and then we'll have a recession, and then we'll go back to being really strong, and then we'll have a recession. And I just think we're there. Like, and then if you look past the US and you look at the global economy, I don't see a single country right now that looks very strong. I'm open to people telling me I'm wrong. I'm open to somebody showing me something to the contrary that I've missed. but everything that I've looked at does not look bullish. It all looks bearish. And so, when we're thinking of trading, when we're thinking of the big picture, we have to look outside of the charts. We have to look at what's happening in the world economically, what's happening in the US economically. We have to look at ourselves. And again, like I said, if you look back, from 5 years ago to today, and you make the same amount of money, you're going to feel like you have way less money today, even if you make exactly the same that you did 5 years ago. All right. Yeah, so why not said current mortgage rate is 6.62. So I was right there. Kind of what I thought. Let's see. Brandon Brown, I don't have time to answer your question, unfortunately. But mostly because gapping up doesn't change anything as far as how I trade. I don't use any different indicators. I don't use a different time frame. And the direction that it goes really just has nothing to do with like gapping up. You have to look at the big overall picture. But basically, I should have ended this video like 5 or 10 minutes ago to shower to get ready for work. So I would say, if that's your question, like ask on the next live, and maybe I'll have, I should have time to answer you, as long as I'm not like running out the door to go to work, which is the case right now. But nothing changes for me. And retail traders like to talk about time frame a lot. And these are my levels, right? And basically, if you look at what I'm saying here, open above, look for a bounce here, or watch, calls. If we open below this, watch for puts. So for me, this is a very key support resistance level, meaning that if we're below it, it's resistance. If we're above it, it's support. So nothing changes other than depending on where we're trading. If we're trading below this single print level here, I expect it to be resistance where I would be grabbing puts from it. If we're opening above it and we come down to it, I would expect a bounce where I would be looking for calls. So basically, everything that I trade off of really is mostly going to be support resistance flips. And if you read Volume Profile by Trader Dale, which you should, if you haven't, you definitely need to do it. And you go to like page 25, he starts talking about strategy 1, support becoming resistance. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. So if we're above a level, support, break becomes resistance, you would grab puts. If we're below a level, resistance, break through becomes support, you grab calls or grab puts. So that's exactly what we're talking about. Oops, did not mean to do that. And when I say this, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but my level 536.43, I just kind of do this as like a wake-up call for retail that like to talk about time frames a lot. If I switch to a 1 hour chart, is 536.43 still 536.43? Yep. If I switch to a 4 hour chart, is 536.43 still 536.43? Yep. If I switch to a daily chart, is 536.43 still 536.43? If I switch to a 12-month chart, is 536.43 still 536.43? It is. So time frame is kind of irrelevant, other than like if you're on a much higher time frame, you're going to see less of these support resistance flips. And like we were talking about there's one right here. And so, but nothing really changes on the time frames other than you're going to have, smoother candles, meaning You're not going to have as many, highs and lows, lower highs, so on and so forth. But time frame doesn't really change much. It just changes, like, if you're looking at a bigger picture or a smaller picture. So, like, day trading, you want to be looking at a smaller picture. I generally trade on the 5 minutes. The reason I trade on 5 minutes is when I'm looking for a support resistance flip, I like to see 3 5-minute candles or more above the level that I consider support resistance, and then retest, and then I'll go long. And so if I see, it's easy for me to count 3 5-minute candles if I'm on 5 minutes. If I'm on a higher time frame, like 30 minutes, it's harder for me to figure out where, 15 minutes is in that time frame. But again, the actual time frame doesn't change anything as far as your levels are concerned. With that said, I got to rush and get out of here. I got to go hop in the shower and get ready for work. Hi, Southcake Dad. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you. So as always, huge thanks to the members of the channel. Extra big thanks to the friends of the stream. Thank you again, Nora, for donating that membership. I really appreciate it. Why not? Asking me a question as I'm running out the door. There's a ton of books that I recommend. If you've read the 3 books, next I would read like Wyckoff 2.0. The Best Loser Wins is a great book as well that you should read. That's not specifically about trading only. But that's an amazing book, like a must read in my opinion. There are some books on TPO. The issue is I don't know, what's his name? Steidelmeyer. I don't know how to pronounce his name. So I have not read any books on time price opportunity. Everything I know about it, I just learned from Shorty. But what's his name? Stiddelmeyer. He was the person that developed TPO, or time price opportunity. I would assume this book would cover it, but I could get back to you better on that. Or you can just look into, like what's covered in this book. Here's a link for it. All right. So with that said, I'm going to dip out. If you're new and you enjoyed the content, I would appreciate a sub. What are they doing? They retested our entry. Go dump. Make me right. Make me right. No, I really don't care. Yeah, so if you're new, I would appreciate a sub if you enjoyed the content and found it valuable. And with that said, I'm going to take off. I will see you all tomorrow evening. Shorty will be live, like I said, 9:30 Eastern time. So definitely tune in for that. He'll be doing an update on futures. And with that said, much love, much respect.